What's the difference between character profile and character design sheet? What's the difference between characterization and true character? And how do you organize all that information if maybe you have a very big cast of characters? There are people that say that having such a large cast of characters is stupid. And to these people I say, they have no idea how right they are. But we can justify it with having done this before, or like Jim Ferry says, dreaming big is what inspires you to move, or something like that. Whatever, at the end of the day, it's your own story, and in my opinion, if dreaming big is what makes you move, even though it's risky, go for it. Hello everyone, I am MG, an artist that can draw at least a stick figure, and let's start. Number 1. What's the difference between a character profile and a character design sheet? A character design sheet is a visual guide on how your character will look. Usually the level of detail depends on the goal. If you are working at an animation studio and there are lots of people working on the same character, you will need a lot more. However, if you are working by yourself and you are the only one that really needs to see it, then you can skip a lot of it, unless it's essential to you. On the other end, we have the character profile, which is the writing part, so you can make the characters believable and compelling to the readers. I mentioned a little bit on the last video, but it was only the beginning. Of course, knowing everything there is to know about your characters makes them more real. After all, people are very complex and you want characters that are complex. However, it can become overwhelming, so be careful. I will talk more about this in a minute. Number 2. What's the difference between characterization and true character? According to Robert McKee's story, characterization refers to all observable qualities of a human being, everything knowable through careful scrutiny. Details such as name, age, IQ, sex, sexuality, maybe how they usually wear clothes and how they do their makeup, maybe a uniform they tend to use because of their profession. However, all of these are just like superficial stuff, or maybe even how they talk or walk. You can see it, of course. However, something Robert McKee does land on, and it is very true, is the concept of true character. Basically, how does your character react under pressure? This is a very important aspect because after all, a story is led by conflict, and as I also mentioned in the last video, how the character reacts to the conflict and to the people around them says a lot about who they really are. Also, reversing your readers' expectations can make your characters more interesting and also your readers more interested. Maybe the gothic badass is not so brave in the face of danger. Maybe the metalhead has a soft spot for kittens. Number 3. How do I organize all that information? We are making comics after all. And so far I am the only one working in my comic, which is a lot of work and it can become overwhelming. But this is what I do, and I use 3 tools. Do you have to follow what I say, as I am a true example and such an amazing comic artist and writer? Of course you don't. This is just an example, take it or leave it, you use what's useful to you. But number 1 is my character design sheet. As you can see, it is very simple, it just has the colors. I have it actually in a Photoshop file and I use this to flat my characters, and it was also very useful when I asked for help. I am missing height lineups, I do want to make them for the male characters especially. However, as you can see, I am also missing these beautiful and more complete character sheets, the types you see in Pinterest. However, I am the only one doing all this work, and I don't know about you, but I didn't need more excuses to avoid making my comics, so I just skipped a lot of steps and I just started the comic, and I am making everything as I go along. So I have 2 writing sections. First one is only for the main characters, and this is the basic template I have. I don't consider these spoilers for my comic, but whatever, it's a trailer. I'm going to explain very briefly, just because it has to be useful to you. I have first the main personality traits of my character, then I have her fight style, at least the main one. She also has other stuff I will go along in a minute. I have the who and the what. This is very important because it's basically her presence in the story, what she will do. usually. And I have the want and the lie, and then I have the need and the arc. The want is different to the need. It's basically written on the lie. Usually characters have a certain lie. That's how they see the world at the beginning, and then they have character development towards evil or towards good, and then they see the need. And this is very tied to the lie. So this is what I have here, what she will learn more or less, and her arc. Basically, she's going to go towards truth. And yeah, I have this for every character, even the characters that turn bad. I have her speech, which is to make the dialogue a little bit more real. Hers is very simple, but I do go adding certain expressions to certain characters that they repeat a lot. Chances are there are certain phrases you say a lot, or certain expressions that instead of saying amazing, you say awesome or something. Little details like that, I have them more in a minute, but in other characters and as well. I have her likes, dislikes, that's very easy to do. Also written on her lie. Now, if you want to come up with lies for your character, because I think that's a very important part of this, many lies people can think of, oh, I can't change. That's a big one. Regarding everything, I hate working out, I cannot change. I hate procrastinating, I cannot change. Money is everything, family doesn't matter. There are so many to choose from. Number 3, my more complete character profile sheets. This is not only an overview of the cast, but it also looks very pretty and it was very satisfying. That wasn't it. It also allows me to hold more information. I will select May again, actually a copy where I have erased some information for spoilers. So we have here Lee May's character profile. I have her name, her age, height. These are the basics. I don't care about their weight. I don't know why. Maybe because I can just draw that. Ethnicity, morals, philosophy. If honestly, using philosophy to build characters is a brilliant way. I have not enough knowledge, but you can use it and study it, and it's very interesting if you summarize it for your characters. There are many villains with very interesting views, real world history. Well, let's not right now. How do they see the world? Surprising traits is where I reverse expectations. Like May, yes, she has to disguise herself as a man, but that doesn't mean she doesn't like certain girly things. I like that about her. And she's very expressionless at the beginning, but yeah, whatever. She does get better. Goals and plans. This is super important. If your character doesn't have goals, they will just be there standing and not contributing anything to the story, or just reacting to whatever happens, and that doesn't make a very interesting character. This is their goal, what she thinks she has to do to achieve that. It also explains her lie. One of the lies is trying to not get attached to the people she's going to have to betray eventually, and she tells herself that she doesn't love them. Abilities and lack of, and talents. This is very basic for me. Hobbies, talents. I have certain fight skills. You can even complete more of this if you have a magical world with D&D sheets. They are very complete, but too complete for me. So I just chose the ones that were useful to me. I do not have a magic system in this world, so I didn't need many things. Major strengths, weaknesses, vulnerabilities, and she loses when, etc. And her biggest fear. Relationships and friends, sexuality, hates, friends, enemies, rivals, loves, attracted to, and sexual and romantic experience. May doesn't have a lot. And I also have the backstory. Who is their mom? Who is their dad? How fucked up are they? Because usually that's what happens. Or how good were they? You know, this is the part that you did see. She was adopted by Gwen after an empress was going to kill her when she was a baby. You see more in my comic. But, you know, yeah, this is something more complete for me to get to know my character, how she behaves under certain circumstances. For example, if you have a situation where she's invited to a party, I just know she doesn't want to drink because she doesn't want to jeopardize her mission. Now, as you can see, I have many characters and they have their own information. After all, I do want to make complex, interesting characters. However, I also have a couple of flat characters with just very brief participation. I am showing the example of the Emperor. They is going to die soon, so it's okay. I have a big cast, so it would be a little crazy if I did a very big level of detail with all of them. I do think that I can do it little by little, but progress. I also have a bonus section for the people I haven't developed at all yet, because sometimes I just come up with their names in the spot, and yeah. It looks like a lot of work, but it's not so hard with a story you love. It does take hours, but at the same time, it's fun. And I just want to mention a little mistake I made, just so you can avoid something like this. I did this until later. So I did have the writing part first, not as detailed, but I did have it. And I did the character design. But because I was missing some information, I just forgot essential things. For example, I was focused on making the guys beautiful, and I wasn't taking into consideration the age of the group. I was going to make May 16 years old when I started, but it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, or at least the guys do look older, so I will have maybe to ask how old they are to my audience. I will do Instagram polls. Hope someone answers. Some things you can add are Enneagram tests and psychological tests, and I don't know, there are many personality tests you can use whatever it's useful for you. Choose the ones you cannot live without, and thank you to ISHAN Comics for sponsoring this video. This video is sponsored by ISHAN Comics. He's a writer with several works under his belt. I am actually working on a comic written by him called Lakshmi Bai, about the famous woman who fought for India. Check him out, enjoy his stories, and let's go back to it. You know what to do: like, comment, subscribe, check my comics if you want to. I am fixing a lot of things, so I will see you in the next video. Bye!